Welcome to the 21st Sports 2015 Monday Night Preview. We're going to be going over all the games for Monday Night Football for the 2015 NFL schedule, as we'll go over all the games and also go over the result the last time these two teams faced each other. So let's start off in Week 1. We got a doubleheader that's September 14th. And the first game of the doubleheader is the Philadelphia Eagles at the Atlanta Falcons. And the last time these two teams faced off was October 28th, 2012. That was Week 8. And the Atlanta Falcons won that game 30-17. Matt Ryan had 3 touchdowns, and that was against Michael Vick, who is under center for the Eagles. So it was a far different matchup back then in 2012. So not really too much bearing towards their matchup this time around. But let's look at the next game from the doubleheader in Week 1. We got Minnesota and San Francisco. The last time these two teams faced off was in the preseason back in 2013, and San Francisco won that game 34-14. The last time they faced off in the regular season was September 23rd, 2012, and Minnesota won that one 24-13. Of course, they were completely different teams at that point. Then in Week 2, September 21st, we have the New York Jets at the Indianapolis Colts. Last year, these two teams faced off in the preseason, and the Jets won that game 13-10. The last time these two teams faced off in the regular season was October 14, 2012, and the Jets won that one 35-9. So the Jets winning the last time these two teams faced in preseason and regular season. It'll be interesting to see. The Colts are in a much better position this time around. Then in Week 3, September 28th, we have the Kansas City Chiefs at the Green Bay Packers. And the last time these two teams faced was last year in the preseason, and the Packers won that one 31-21. And then the last time they faced off in the regular season, actually, they faced off a few times in the preseason before the last regular season matchup. They kind of have a regular thing going in the preseason. But the last time the regular season was 2011, but they also saw them in 2012, and Kansas City won 30-8 in the preseason then. And then the preseason for 2011, Green Bay won 24-3. So Green Bay was 2-1 against Kansas City in the preseason, but the last time in the regular season, in December 18th, 2011, Kansas City won that one 19-14. So in the last 4 matchups, they've split them 2-2. 3 of those were in the preseason, though. The last time the regular season, Kansas City won. So Week 4, October 5th, the Detroit Lions versus the Seattle Seahawks. The last time these two teams faced off was October 28th, 2012. The Lions won that one 28-24. Then Week 5, October 12th, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers and the San Diego Chargers. Last time these two teams faced was December 9th, 2012, and San Diego won that one 34-24 in Pittsburgh. In Week 6, October 19th, we had the New York Giants versus the Philadelphia Eagles, almost said San Francisco Giants. The New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles. In the last year, Philadelphia swept the season series over the G-Men, first winning 27-0 at home, and then 34-26 in New York. Then in Week 7, October 26th, we have the Baltimore Ravens and the Arizona Cardinals. Last time these two teams faced off was 2011. In Week 8, Baltimore won that one 30-27. Joe Flacco threw for 336 passing yards, and that was against Kevin Kolb. So Kevin Kolb was under center back then, so it's a completely different team. That's not really going to have much bearing on their matchup this time around. And in Week 8, November 2nd, we have the Indianapolis Colts versus the Carolina Panthers. The last time they faced off was in 2011, in Week 12. So 2011, Week 12, the Panthers won that one 27-19. That was in Indianapolis, and Cam Newton had 200-plus passing yards and 50-plus running yards, and that was against Curtis Painter. So not Andrew Luck, Curtis Painter back then, last time these two teams faced. So in Week 9, November 9th, we have the Chicago Bears versus the San Diego Chargers. The last time these two teams faced was in the preseason in 2013, and the Bears won that one 33-28. The last time they saw each other in the regular season was 2011 in Week 11, and the Bears won that one 31-20. So the Bears won the last two meetings between these two teams. Of course, one in the preseason, one in the regular season versus the Chargers. Week 10, November 16th, we have the Houston Texans versus the Cincinnati Bengals. And last year, in Week 12, Cincinnati went to Houston and won the game 22-13, thanks in large part to A.J. Green, 121 yards receiving in that game. Week 11, November 23rd, we have the Buffalo Bills versus the New England Patriots. And last year, these two teams split the season series. In Week 6, New England won 37-22 in Buffalo. And then in the final week of the season, Week 17, the Buffalo Bills beat the Patriots in Foxborough 17-9. Then in Week 12, November 30th, we had the Baltimore Ravens versus the Cleveland Browns. And last year, Baltimore swept the season series, winning in Week 3, 23-21 in Cleveland. And then in Week 17, the final game of the year for these two teams, 20-10 in Baltimore. Well, the final game of the regular season, Baltimore did make the playoffs. Week 13, December 7th, we have the Dallas Cowboys versus the Washington Redskins. They split the season series last year. In Week 8, Washington won 20-17 in overtime in Dallas. That was Monday Night Football. Then Week 17, Dallas avenged the loss with a win in Washington, D.C., 44-17. Week 14, December 14th, the New York Giants are going to Miami to face the Dolphins. The last time these two teams faced off was in 2011 in Week 8, and the New York Giants won that game 20-17, and that just happened to be the last time the Giants won the Super Bowl. So the last time the Giants had the Dolphins on their regular season schedule, they went on to win the Super Bowl. For those of you that are G-Men fans, that should be good news for you. Week 15, December 21st, the Detroit Lions going up against the New Orleans Saints. Last year in Week 7, Detroit beat the Saints coming from behind 24-23. It was a crazy game. Week 16, December 28th, Cincinnati versus Denver. The last Monday Night Football game of the 2015 season. And last year, in Week 16, the Bengals beat the Broncos 37-28. That was in Cincinnati. So that's the Monday Night Football schedule. Let me know in the comments section below what game you're looking forward to the most. Definitely interested to read your thoughts and opinions. Looks to be a pretty good schedule. We got some good games, some good, rematches. Interesting to see that, Detroit versus New Orleans. That was a really good one last year. We got some good division games as well, and some games that, teams that haven't faced in a long time. So it'll be interesting to see them go back at it with the new squads that they have, the new talent and everything. So it should be a fun Monday night season, starting there with Philly, Atlanta. We'll see, where Atlanta's at right off the rip going against the Eagles. Minnesota, San Fran. Be interesting to see how that plays out. Both teams, had disappointing years last year. Of course, Minnesota's got a really good defense, and they, Teddy Bridgewater is going to have another year under his belt, so we'll see how he does in his sophomore season. Of course, the Niners, without Harbaugh, they're going to have a new coach. We'll see how they do with that. Then we got the Jets and the Colts. Expect the Colts to kick their ass, really, but, we'll see. The Jets, they're still making some moves. We'll see what happens in the offseason. They did get back Revis. KC, Green Bay. These two teams have a rivalry that goes all the way back to Super Bowl, Super Bowl 1, right? And so then, Detroit and Seattle, that's going to be a good game too. Two really good defenses. It was a good game, the last time these two teams faced. Of course, that was a couple years ago. Pittsburgh, San Diego, same story there. Definitely should be interesting. Especially, we'll see what happens with Philip Rivers. There's been a lot of talk that the Chargers might try to trade him, but I have a feeling he's going to stay with the Chargers. Then, of course, the Giants and the Eagles. That's always a good game, good division rivalry. And Baltimore, Arizona. That should be a good one. Two good defenses going at it. Indy and Carolina. Been a long time since they faced off, so it'll be fun to see Cam Newton versus Andrew Luck for the first time. Chicago, San Diego. Some of these games, it seems the Sunday night schedule got a better games, but you never know until actually once the season gets going, and every game's a good game, so it'll be fun no matter what. Houston, Cincinnati, that was a fun one last year. Be interesting to see the rematch. Houston should be a really tough team in 2015. Then, Buffalo, New England, classic division rivalry. Same with Baltimore and Cleveland. That's another tough division rivalry game. And of course, Baltimore was Cleveland before moving to Baltimore, so that's kind of a natural rivalry they got going on there. It's a little deeper. And right into another division rivalry with Dallas and Washington. And then New York, Miami should be a fun one to watch as well. Seeing the Giants go down to Miami against a really tough defense that they're putting together in the Dolphins squad there. That's with the addition of Sue. It's going to be crazy. He's going to be coming after Eli. And, of course, Odell Beckham Jr. coming back in his sophomore effort. And if they have Victor Cruz healthy, the Giants should have quite the passing attack. Then Detroit, New Orleans, like we were talking about earlier. And then ending off with Cincinnati, Denver, which could have some huge playoff implications. So, again, let me know in the comments section below what game you're looking forward to out of the Monday night schedule. Thank you very much for listening. It is appreciated. I hope you're having a good day and have a good weekend and enjoy all the sports.